and I almost didn't go live. Oh, that's too funny. Thank you for telling me that, Michelle. I really appreciate that. I didn't even know I had myself muted. Just one of the many technical issues that I've had today. I almost gave up and didn't go live because I just could not get things to work, and luckily my husband came in and fixed something for me that things just weren't connecting. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so I will just repeat what I was saying because this is super, super important. What I was saying, thank you so much, Michelle. Oh, that's too funny. What I was saying was, that's so funny. Oh my goodness. What I was saying, guys, so sorry you couldn't hear my sound. Thanks for letting me know, guys. It's hilarious. Hey, Deezer. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for saying hi. Anyone else who wants to say hi, please do so. So what I was saying is that with the year, we are moving, right, into the year of the fire horse. This is the final days of the year of the snake. And so if you're noticing a lot of emotions coming up for you, or your emotions feel like they're a bit all over the place, that is a sign of the energy changing and moving as well, right? There is a lot of change energetically going on as we move from snake, the year of the snake, which is all about letting go, shedding, getting rid of what doesn't serve you. So I've just taken my relatable students through a really beautiful process of letting go what doesn't serve them and welcoming in the new year. I took them all on a date with their souls last week, and we really got clear on that, which was awesome. So I'm so sorry, everyone, that I have been, I actually find that hilarious. Just a sign of some of the technical issues I've had today. Like it never automatically mutes. It automatically muted on me and I didn't realize. I've just had a few things not working for me this morning. So sorry, guys. Next time you think it's just you, just tell me. I can't hear you, Fiona. And that's really helpful. So hi, Val. Hey, Penny. Hi, darling. I hope that you and Ollie are able to come to our relatable retreat. I would love to meet you guys in person. And hi, Val. Nice to have you here from Perth. Thank you so much. So what I was saying is this is the end of this year of the snake. So what does that mean? It means I really need you to it's very important that you understand that we are energetic beings, okay? And our energy enters the room before we do. And understanding this is huge, okay? Because awesome. I'm so glad to hear that, Penny. I'm so glad. I can't wait to meet you in person, honey, and give you a massive hug. Can't wait. That's so cool. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for saying hi. Oh, this is too funny. So it's very important that you understand that you are an energetic being. First and foremost, you just are. And the way that the world works is on energy and frequency. That's just how it works. Whether you believe it, agree with it, it is just the way it works. And this has been proved by science. Like, look up quantum physics if you don't understand, if you don't believe me, and you'll see all the evidence there. This is something that scientists are discovering at a quantum level. That's something they can't quite, they don't understand, but they are seeing how things work, but they don't understand how things work. Does that make sense? So this is something that we still lack a lot of knowledge around, but you are an energetic being. We have a lot of change energetically going on in the world. And so as we come to the end of the snake, which is all about letting go. And so I really encourage you this weekend, clear out the stuff that's not serving you. Like if you've got a lot of half-used stuff in your bathroom cabinet, products that are out of date, stuff you don't use, stuff that's been there for years, get rid of it, right? Get rid of the stuff that doesn't serve you because stuff can block energy, right? And this is very important because the fire horse moves fast. It moves really fast. It's a fast-moving energy. It's a fire energy, right? It's a fast-moving energy, and you want to take advantage of that. You want to move with it. Otherwise, you'll get left behind. And when I say left behind, I don't mean that as literally as I think it probably sounds, but it means that if there are things that you want to achieve or make happen in your life, or if there's change, you want to make sure that you're ready for that. You're ready for the change. So clear out what doesn't serve you. Get rid of all the clothes that don't fit you. Make sure that your front entrance is clean and clear, right? Because, I'm not a Feng Shui expert by any stretch of the imagination, but your front entrance is where abundance comes in and out. And so you want to make sure it's clean and taken care of. Get rid of stuff, clean it out, clean your front windows, clean your front door, get rid of any dead plants or bits of dead plants that aren't working for you, right? Just clear it all out. Like, this is your way of saying to the universe, I'm ready for the change of energy, right? I'm ready for the change of energy. And so if you have felt like your energy's been going up and down a bit like this over the last few days, that is also a sign of the shift in energy that we're going through, right? The snake is all about letting go, and the fire horse is all about moving, change, and moving forward, and doing so quite quickly, all right? So it's exciting. It's a really exciting time to be alive at the moment. It really is, for many, many, many reasons. So get on board with the energy. Now, the other thing I want to say is that our energy enters the room before we do, right? And we are the biggest blind spots of our own energy. We really are. If this is one of the biggest things that my students see in my Relatable program is their blind spots around that. It's one of the reasons why, if you feel like there are things that just keep looping in your life and the same things, the same patterns are happening, a big part of that would be the fact that you are not aware of what you're bringing energetically into your space. And so, of course, if you don't have awareness around it, you can't change it, right? You can't change what you can't see. You can't change what's invisible to you. And so a big part of what I teach in Relatable is making the invisible visible, right? And that's really, really exciting. So this is a great time to see this stuff. It's a really great time of shift and change, right? Great time to have lots of awareness, okay? Because with awareness comes choice. And with awareness comes possibility, and with awareness comes potential. So these are all the things that are on offer as the energy changes and moves. All right. So I just wanted to kind of start off with that, because this is the final weekend before we move into the year of the fire horse. So I can tell you right now, I've already started doing those things. I've cleaned out my bathroom cabinet, getting rid of clothes that no longer work. I've cleaned out and cleared my front door. I want to make sure that I'm ready, and I'm letting the universe know that I'm ready. So get excited about it. It's very, very, very cool. And the other thing is, as you understand this more and more, yeah, hi Nathan, sorry. There is sound now, but you might be listening through a bit of a delay, but there is sound now. I was listening without sound. Oh, I was sorry, I was talking without sound to begin with. Oh, how funny. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your patience with me. I do appreciate it. I'm so sorry about that. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because this is understanding the way energy works is really, really, really important. And understanding the role you play around that is also really, really, really important. So as always, I've got questions here that I want to answer for you guys. And if you are listening and you have a question you'd like me to answer, please pop it in the comments below and I'll answer it for you. And Michelle, I just want to say, I hope that you're able to make it to the Melbourne retreat. I want to meet you in person as well. I'd love to give you a big hug too, honey. And for you, the US peeps, I promise the dates are coming for that. I know I keep saying that, but they're coming as to when I'm running the retreat in the US for you guys. All right, so here's a couple of questions that I want to answer. So this is one that comes up for me quite a bit, all right? And it was sent through to me again a week or so ago. So I don't think I've answered this one for a little while. So I want to talk about this because I think this comes up a lot in relationships, and it can kind of send us down a pathway that's not helpful if we don't quite understand what's going on. So I hear this a lot. So the question that has been sent in is, hi Fiona, I love your Friday lives. I listen to them every single week. I can't always make them live, but due to work, but I really appreciate everything that you share. I know sometimes you've mentioned that you're not sure if you'll do them every week. Please do them every week, as they are the highlight of my week. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you so much. So my question is, I love my partner, but I'm not in love with them anymore. What does this mean? Does this mean our relationship is over? I'm not sure what to do with this. Okay, so I do get this one a lot. I love my partner, but I'm not in love with them anymore. And I know how tricky that can be and scary that can feel when like you're in a long-term relationship, or you're married, or whatever, and you're in a relationship, and you've had this feeling of, I love them, but I don't know if I'm in love with them. So I want to address this because I think this is, like I said, this is a question that can take us down a pathway of confusion and unnecessary pain and destruction and suffering. So, I think for so many of us, and this is because of the way that love is romanticized, okay, and the way love is presented to us. And I'm talking about romantic love at the moment, right? Romantic love is presented to us. I mean, I grew up with, the Disney movies, the girl goes and meets the prince, and they live happily ever after kind of thing. And so we get this feeling that, or we get this belief system, all right, that sits in our energetic field, that sort of says that being in love, that in love feeling is that, that the butterflies that you get, that high, your heart quickening when you see someone, and that feeling of you can't wait to see them, right? And whilst that is a fantastic feeling, like it really is, I hear you, I love that feeling. It's not a feeling that's constant, okay? It's a feeling that comes and goes, just like all feelings do, right? It's a feeling that comes and goes, which is the natural cadence of being a human. It's the natural cadence of our experience. Our experience comes and goes. The one thing that you can 100% rely on is that our experience is in a continual state of change, right? It's in a continual state of change. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for saying hi, honey. It's always lovely to hear from you. You're live from Perth. Another person from Perth. Yay. Awesome. Thank you, Lynn. And I don't think we understand this enough. I think we have this expectation that we should always be in that feeling, and that if we're not in that feeling, that means something. As you know, human beings are meaning-making machines. We are continuously making meaning out of anything and everything. Okay? We just are. And we can't see it. We can't see it because it looks like this is the way things are. Now, when something looks like it's the way things are, it becomes invisible to you. It becomes invisible. And there is so much of life that looks like this is just how things are, rather than this is a reflection of what I've just made this mean. This is a reflection of what I've just created. This, like, when you actually start to see life through that lens, it is life-changing. It's life-changing because it gives you so much more control, so much more choice over your experience, okay? When you can actually see that. And this is a really big part of what I teach in Relatable, right? So that you deeply, deeply see that you are the creator of your reality, this is the meaning you're putting on this. This experience is a direct result of that. And your ability to see that is what will set you free emotionally. And it is what will enable you to have a different experience over your partner, over anything. It could be work, it could be yourself, very important. It could be really, there's no limit to this, to be honest. It's any and every situation in your life, right? This is what gives you control and at the same time emotional freedom. And the reason for that is you stop taking everything so personally. All right? We are meaning-making machines and we take everything really personally. And so when you take something personally, you make it mean something even more negative, right? So, for example, this person sent in this question, I'm in love with my with my husband, but I'm not in love. Now, if I was working with them one-on-one, or if they were on a Q&A call with me in Relatable, I'd kind of ask a few more questions to understand that a little bit more. But what I want you to know, first of all, is that in love feeling that we are taught, through romanticized movies, books, all of that kind of stuff. It's a great feeling. Don't get me wrong. It's a feeling I love having, but it's a feeling that comes and goes. It will never be there all the time. It fluctuates. And what you've got to understand is the fluctuation of that doesn't mean anything. It's the fluctuation of our experience that we put meaning on. It's the fluctuation of our experience that we put meaning on. And so the more you put meaning on your experience, the more you create the very thing that you don't want. Okay, and this is, again, I see this all the time. People are in constant creation of what they don't want rather than in creation of what they do want. And I certainly did that with my husband prior to having this understanding and living from this understanding and having this in my life. I was in constant creation of what I didn't want. I had no idea that I was doing that. No idea. So I kept innocently doing it again and again and again. So please understand, if you have that experience, I love them, but I'm not in love, you've really got to understand the way experience itself works. All right. And the first thing is to know that feelings like that come and go, but the going of those feelings does not mean anything. Now, when you are able to truly see that, this is when you can actually get to the truth, meaning what's actually true for you versus something that you've put a lot of meaning on and got confused by. And so what I see is a lot of people put meaning on things and get very confused by that, then live out of that, then gather all the evidence to support that, then decide that that's true. And then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. I actually had a Relatable student, and I need to reply to them. They sent me a message this week, a private message. I think they were in Relatable for a couple of years. They're finished now, and they were saying to me, which I thought was just gorgeous, and said, Fiona, when I first joined Relatable and I learned this and I had all these enormous aha moments, I was in a relationship that had just ended, and I kept thinking to myself, if only I'd known this, I know our relationship wouldn't have ended. If only I'd known this, I would have handled things so differently, and I know we'd still be together. And as they said, I spent a lot of time beating myself up over that, and then I let it go, and I came to terms with it. And she said, I just thought I'd let you know that last November, my ex and I reconnected, and we're now back together, and we're better than ever. And it's thanks to what I've learned inside of Relatable, inside of this understanding. And I was like, wow, that's just huge, right? Isn't that just awesome? I love hearing stories like that. And to me, that is a great example of what I'm talking about, that we can innocently make the dips in our experience or our feeling around a person mean something. This is what human beings do. I see this all the time. And there's an innocence in it, okay? Because you don't know that you're doing that. You don't know that you're in the creation of that. So you innocently keep creating the very thing that you don't want. All right? And so without that knowing, that's what I mean. When the invisible is something that when it's invisible, how are you supposed to change that? You can only change what you can see. Okay? And then you get to create what's different. Then you get to create something completely different. I mean, and I'm constantly reminded of this all the time. I'm constantly reminded of this all the time. Every day I'm lucky enough to be reminded of this. And the reminder of that comes to me in a million different ways. I was watching a video that came up on social media of, I'm sorry, I'm probably not going to pronounce his name very well. It was a beautiful video, actually. Is it Josh Duhamel? Is it Duhamel? I may have got his name wrong. He's just that actor from, my brain. Sorry, I had a medical procedure this week, and I'm still a little bit, I think my brain's not quite fired on. Dawson's Creek, that's it. The actor from Dawson's Creek, who's passed away recently from from cancer. And this was a video he posted a little while ago, and he was talking about, and it reminded me of my friend Anthony, who it's coming up to his 12 months since he passed. Anthony's the one who made this frog and many other things. For those of you who don't know, Anthony came to me as a client, but became a very close friend, someone I love very deeply. And he passed away of cancer April last year. And anyway, I was listening to Josh's video this morning, and he was talking about the fact that, and I remember having this conversation with Anthony as well. He said, I always identified with myself as an actor. That's how I identified myself. And he said, as the cancer took hold, I had to let go of that because I couldn't work anymore. And he said, and then I realized I identified with myself as a provider. But I couldn't provide for my family, so I had to let go of that identity. And he said, and he started going through all the things that he identified himself as. And as the cancer took hold, each one of those identities was something he had to let go of because he couldn't be that anymore. He said, as I got weaker and my body, as he said, became a bag of bones, basically, I remember sitting there one day and saying, well, if I'm not an actor and I'm not a provider and I'm not all of these things that he thought he was, what am I? Who am I? And I'm sitting there listening to him, and he said, I sat there very quietly and I put that message out there, and an answer came back to me very quickly. I got an answer. And the answer was, you are deeply loved by God simply because you exist. And I know for some of you, when I use the word God, you go into religious connotations around that, what God means to you on a religious level. I'm not talking in a religious sense, okay? I'm talking in a sense of something greater than you. I'm talking in a sense of something bigger than you. I'm talking in a sense of an intelligence behind life that runs life. And there was such peace in his expression as he shared that. It was very, very emotional, and it touched me really deeply. And I like, what a beautiful reminder to all of us of who we truly are. What a beautiful reminder, because what's true for him is true for me, and what's true for me is true for you. It's not about the things that you identify with. That's not who you are. And the more deeply you see that, the less you let go of all the stuff that you make this mean out here, right? All the stuff that we make it mean out here. And I had one of those moments this morning where I found myself, as I was listening to this man who's just passed away, share this. My husband walked into my room, into our room, sorry, my room, our room, and on his way to leave to go to work to say goodbye to me, and my love for him just went to a different level. I just felt it, and I know that was a direct result of me experiencing that video, and my experience of that video. And to me, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Your capacity, your ability to remember who you are. Because when you do, you let go of all the stuff out here that you've made up, all the stuff that you've made life mean, that blocks you from experiencing that. Right? I have a whole module devoted to this. It's the 6th module in Relatable. It's all about letting love in and the ways that we block it. But it's just I'm so grateful to be reminded of those things, because every time I do, it's like whatever energetic block that I've had that I didn't even know I had, I feel it dissipate. I felt that this morning. I just felt that happen this morning. I went, whoa. And I thought to myself, this is the amazing thing about human beings. That man has passed away, and he's still having an enormous impact on the collective. And, you are that. You have an enormous impact on the collective. And it is your capacity to remember who you are that determines that, your impact. It's truly, that's what it's all about. So coming back to this question, I'm in love with my husband. I love my husband, but I'm not in love. If you were in my relatable community, I'd ask a few more questions to truly understand some of the meaning you've made on that and where that comes from, right? But as I'm answering this question in a general way for you guys who are listening, if you're having that experience, the first thing I'd be saying to you is to understand that those romantic feelings of, breathlessness and excitement and palpitations and all of those things, they are wonderful feelings. They come and go. I still have those feelings with my husband, but I don't have them all the time, right? But that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't need them to have them all the time. I understand that our experience is in constant change and flux. And I also understand that that when that experience changes, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm not in love. It doesn't mean our love is dimmed. It doesn't mean we're out of the honeymoon phase. That's a common thing that I hear, right? That's a common thing. Oh, that means you're not in the honeymoon phase anymore. Says who? Like, that's just completely made up. The honeymoon phase is made up, right? This is the honeymoon phase. It means that. When you're out of that, it means that. Now, I just want you to think of something for a second. As I had started this live, once I turned the sound on, as I started this live, I was saying, we are energetic beings, and it's our energy that enters the room before we do. And your energy is your biggest blind spot. It's your biggest blind spot. And this is something that my relatable students really see when they start learning this understanding and looking this direction. And, when you really start to see that, you get so much more choice over the energy that you are creating. You make things, you stop with all of this endless meaning that you put on things. Now, if I'm holding in my energetic field that there's a honeymoon period and I'm out of it, how do you think I'm going to show up? Right? How do you think I'm going to show up? I'm going to look for the moments where maybe I walk in the door or my husband walks in the door and I'm not excited, as a way of going, yeah, I'm out of it. Yeah, that was great, but yeah, the honeymoon period's finished, so I'm no longer in the honeymoon period. I guess that's to be expected. I just want you to notice all the millions of times that we bring that into our energy field, and then we have all of these little conversations with ourselves, all the pieces of evidence that we bring, and then it just kind of hangs around like a heaviness. Is this making sense? I just wanted to check in with you guys if this is making sense, or this is resonating, because this is what people do with, and it's not just with their relationships, they do it with everything. We do this with everything all the time. Okay? We bring these things in and they hang there in our energy field, and then they block what's possible. They get in the way. Right? I don't believe in honeymoon periods. I really don't. I can tell you right now, I've been married it'll be 22 years this year. And that experience of what I've just been talking about comes and goes. But I don't expect it to be there all the time. And when it changes, when it's in the not there period, I don't put meaning on it. I don't make that mean anything about my relationship, about my husband, about our compatibility, about anything. But so many people do, and they don't know that they're doing it. And then they're living out of that experience. That becomes their lived experience. Now, until you truly see this, that will continue to be your lived experience. No matter how many techniques that you try, no matter how many strategies you put in place, that will be your lived experience, because that's the baseline that you operate from. This is why I say to people all the time, couples that I'm working with, my students, etc., you've got to know the baseline that you operate from, and you have to change it. The baseline that I operated from with my husband when I kind of first came across this was one of judgment, resentment, frustration, disappointment, expectation. I'm not to say we weren't there all the time or would have good times, but I'd always come back to that. I'd always come back to that baseline. And that baseline didn't change. And I knew a lot then. Like, I'd done a lot of courses, a lot of study, NLP, all sorts of things back then. I knew a lot of stuff. And it didn't change the baseline. In fact, it almost made it worse, because I would feel disappointed that my husband didn't do a lot of personal development. I would feel disappointment that my husband wasn't working on himself because I was, and so therefore he should. right? It actually exacerbated a lot of that stuff, which is what I see. I see a lot of this. People doing a lot of personal development programs, it actually makes their relationships worse because people can get very arrogant about it, which I did. I've done all this work on myself and you won't. That means something. And then they live out of that lived experience. And then they surround themselves with people who are doing a lot of personal development experience, other men, other women, and they go, why can't my wife be like that? Why can't my husband be like that? And then they bring that lived disappointment home. And then that's in their energy field. I see this all the time. And often, really, when you're doing a lot of that stuff, it actually makes relationships worse because you put a lot of expectation and a lot of disappointment and a lot of judgment onto the other person. So I just want to say, and I hope this is making sense, or it's resonating on some level, even if it doesn't quite make sense. The most important thing you can do in life is understanding, right, the energy that you bring and understanding the meaning that you put on things, and then understanding that you are the creator of that, and then the impact that that has on everything in your life. When you truly see that, and it can take time. Some people see it really quickly. Some people need more time. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean anything. It takes you a little longer to see it than somebody else. Don't make that mean something. See, we any chance we get an opportunity to make meaning of something, we will. Right? That's what we do all the time. There's so much more I could literally talk about this all day. I honestly could. There's so much I could talk about around that. But the most important thing is your awareness and you being able to truly see this. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it. And I think the interesting thing for me, anyway, is that whilst I've done many, many, many courses, because I'm fascinated and I'm a lifelong learner, I always will be, I love learning stuff, I hadn't seen this. Now, whether someone had taught this and I just didn't get it and I wasn't listening, that's highly possible, right? But out of all the things that I'd done, no, I felt like I'd never been taught this. And so I didn't know it. I didn't know this at all. And it was only when I came across this understanding that it's now become my life's work, that's when I started to see it, and that's when things dramatically changed in my life, dramatically changed. I went from, and I mean dramatically, I mean financially, I mean in my marriage, I mean within my own well-being, I mean in my relationship with myself, my relationship with my children, with my siblings, like I can't even, I mean across the board, everywhere, okay? It wasn't just this one area, it was everywhere, because as you change in one area and as you change via insight, not through technique, okay, that's not sustainable change. The only way we create long-term sustainable change is via insight. There is no other way, okay? Willpower won't cut it, just won't. You'll always come back to your baseline because willpower is not an infinite resource. We run out of willpower. Okay, and as soon as we run out of willpower, we'll just come back to our baseline of understanding. Okay, so it's through insight, it's through fresh thinking, it's through our ability to see things with a fresh lens that we create long-term sustainable change. I was actually listening to or reading an article about Mel Robbins recently, and I found it really interesting. She was talking about the fact that she used to be broke, an alcoholic, very unwell, unable to get out of bed in the mornings. Like that's where she was, wanting to change her life, but unable to do anything about it. And I was reading in this article that she was watching, I can't remember, I don't know if it was if she was listening to something or watching a show, but she was watching something and she was watching a rocket takeoff, blast off. And they were counting, they were doing the countdown before the rocket blasted off, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. And she had this thought, right? Here it is, a fresh thought. She had an insight. What about, because she had undiagnosed ADHD and something else going on. And so when you have ADHD can affect our executive functioning, and our executive functioning is that aspect of our brain that has us do things, move, right? It's like you know what you need to do, but you're struggling with the action to take that next step. And she said, what about, she had this thought, what about if I was to, rather than lying in bed in the morning, I was to count down like a rocket and just jump up no matter what before my brain could kick in. I wonder what would happen if I did that. And so the next morning she woke up and she went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she jumped out of bed. Okay. And that's when her life started to change. And I share that with you because, you know, this was obviously a pattern interrupt for her brain, but really it's not the pattern interrupt that's powerful. It's the thought that she had. Without that thought, without that insight, without that fresh thinking, without that realization, right? Without that, there would be no pattern interrupt. Okay? I just want you to see what drives change. Now, understanding that, and you know, I talk about this a lot. This is what I teach in my Relatable program into a much greater detail than what I can do here. But your understanding of that is something that stays with you forever. And from there, right, you make the changes that are relevant and important to you. I'm not saying everyone needs to get up and go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to make change, but that's what worked for her. But it worked for her and it had impact for her because of her own realization, right? Her own realization. That's the lever. You know, and this is why I talk about the power of insight and realization over technique. I could say to all of you, so to anyone who's struggling to get up in the morning, okay, what I need you to do is do what Mel Robbins did, which was count like a rocket, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get up. Now, it may make no difference to your life. It may do nothing for you. Why? Because it wasn't your realization, it was hers. Okay, the realization is the leverage point, not the technique. This is why techniques don't help everybody. They help some people some of the time, but they do not help everybody all of the time. Because it's the realization that is the lever. It's not the technique. Right? This is why people can try other people's techniques and nothing happens for them. It's because it's not your realization. Realizations are spiritual in nature. They come from that intelligence behind life. They come from that place that's bigger than you. And they're beautiful because they're very personalized to you. Techniques are not personalized to you. That's why they don't work for everybody. That's why I'm not a huge advocate of them. Right? What I'm a huge advocate of is understanding and insight. Because the thing about insights is insights choose you. You don't choose them. So you have to understand how they work, where they come from. You have to be ready for them and open for them. Okay? And again, this is all the stuff that I talk about in Relatable. But to finish off today, and I've been talking for a long time, so I need to stop talking. If you are feeling like your emotions are going, they're huge and they're up and down, it's the end of the snake. We are like, this is the process of letting go. Please let go of what doesn't serve you. This is your final weekend. Let it go. Don't hold on to it. Let it go. Right? It's so much easier when you just let stuff go. Clean out the stuff that holds you back energetically. Right? And get ready for the fire horse so that you're ready for the shift and change in energy, because it's a fast moving thing. It's very exciting. Right? And I hope that this has been helpful. Thank you for your comments, everyone. Melinda, I've just been trying to troubleshoot why I had no sound. Should have checked the comments. I'm so sorry, everyone. Oh, dear. Deezer, when you showed me that I was a creator of my experience, setting love, feeling returned, and our relationship improves every day. Oh, that's awesome, Deezer. Thank you, honey. I so appreciate you, darling. Hello, lovely Jody. Hello to you. Hi, Irma. Hello. Sounds like you're describing me, Fiona, living in the negativity, but beginning to see that I'm making it all up. Awesome, Irma. I'm so happy to hear that, darling. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Hey, Nathan. Our own insights are so powerful and can change our lives instantly, permanently, and easily. Yes, that's right. It sure can. Lynn, realization first before techniques to change. Yes, it's all about the realization. That's the powerhouse. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. To my Relatable students, I've just sent out details for our first ever Melbourne retreat. If you do not have the details, send me an email or a DM and I'll get them to you. It's on May 1st to 3rd in Melbourne, and there'll be a US retreat later on in the year. So thank you all. Thanks, William. As always, you bring sound understanding to situations that are complex and challenging. Thank you. You're so welcome, William. I really appreciate your comment. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I will see you all next Friday when we will be in the Year of the Fire Horse. Okay, take care, everyone. Ciao.